Hello, welcome to the Season 14 premiere of RTN Tonight, Glassboro's favorite mid-afternoon late-night talk show. I'm Sammy.
And I'm Adina, and we've got a great show today. So let's get started with the news.
In a wild incident in Kitsap County, Washington, a woman called 911 after being swarmed by 50 to 100 raccoons. What started as her feeding a small family for years turned into a funny rave outside her door. Kevin McCarty from the sheriff's office explained it's like inviting a couple of friends over for pizza and suddenly you've got a frat party in your living room. These raccoons were not just hanging out, they were scratching at her door and surrounding her car like it was the hottest club in town. She described it as a real-life wildlife horror movie, complete with raccoon bouncers demanding snacks. So if you're thinking of befriending raccoons, remember, sometimes it's just too much of a good thing, especially when you're the one getting hounded for treats.
The British World Conquer Championship was facing some troubles last week after some cheating allegations disturbed the contest. The contest is based around a traditional children's game where players use conkers, aka the brown seeds of the horse chestnut tree, threaded onto a string to try and smash their opponent's chestnuts. Dave Jackins, also known as the King Conker, was named winner of the men's tournament before claims of him using a steel chestnut from his pocket came out. Chestnut investigators studied photo evidence and concluded that he didn't cheat, and Jackins himself stated that the steel chestnut was just part of his role as King Conker. Now, this is some crazy drama occurring at an annual nut-smashing competition for humans, but just imagine the fans' reactions to the British squirrels getting caught on steroids during the table tennis event at the Squirrel Olympics.
In a plot twist that could only happen in the Peach State, a sheriff in Georgia summoned his own deputies to Burger King because his order was wrong. That's right, folks. Forget about crime waves. We've got fast food felonies on our hands. Eyewitnesses reported the sheriff storming in like he was busting a drug ring. "I thought I was watching Cops Drive-Thru Edition," one bystander said. Next, he'll slap a wanted poster on the ketchup. When the deputies arrived, the sheriff demanded to speak to the manager. "I'm about to file charges for emotional burger distress," he proclaimed, gesturing wildly at the menu. After a tense standoff, he finally got his order fixed. "I guess you can't always catch up with bad service, but you can relish in the moment." No charges were filed against the restaurant, but the sheriff left a stern warning next time he'll call in a SWAT team if his fries are cold. Stay tuned for updates on this criminal case.
In breaking news, a Guinness World Record enthusiast, David Rush, has broken another challenging record this past week. Alongside his title for most table tennis balls bounced and caught in shaving foam on the head in 30 seconds and many, many others, Rush has now beat the intriguing record for furthest distance to blow a playing card with a single breath, which he blew a whopping 33 feet. I mean, come on, people. Let's get this guy on some pressing real-world issues, like wildfires, climate change, or old people trying to blow out their candles.
In a wild story that's too good to be true, police pulled over a speeding car this week and found, wait for it, Cookie Monster behind the wheel. That's right, folks, the beloved blue guy wasn't just after cookies. He was zooming at 90 miles per hour like he was late for a bake sale. Officers initially thought it was a prank until they heard him shouting, "Me want cookie." At least he didn't want a double chunk chocolate cookie, otherwise he may have another target on his back. Turns out he was racing to a kid's party, proving that nothing screams responsible adult quite like speeding down Sesame Street in a minivan. When asked about the situation, Cookie Monster replied, "Me thought speed limit was just suggestion." Meanwhile, the cops were left scratching their heads, wondering if they should have pulled him over for a cookie count instead. No word yet on whether he'll fight the ticket, but let's hope he crumbled out under pressure and slows down, because if he keeps this up, his next snack might just be a side of community service.
That story was a boom. In other news, a funeral home in Portland recently faced some issues this past weekend during a transporting mishap, where a hearse driven by Haiti's Funeral Services had some technical difficulties in its electrical tailgate lock, which resulted in the corpse falling out of the car and onto a Poland City crosswalk. The company and funeral home both came out sharing their deepest regrets and apologies for the unfortunate event. But it's clear this apology was not enough, because when questioned about the situation, reporters say the corpse stayed still and silent with a blank stare. I guess this confirms the second falling out between the corpse and the funeral company.
Big news! Whoops, I meant bad news from Australia, where a woman has been charged with 3 murders after serving up a mushroom dish that didn't exactly have a happy ending. Talk about a meal that's to die for, and not in the good way. Authorities say the mushrooms in question weren't your average pizza toppings. These were more like the Last Supper kind of mushrooms. Honestly, the guests were probably thinking, these taste a little fatal. It's like if you've ever had a pair of two left gloves, and on one hand, it's great, but on the other hand, it's just not right. Police are calling it mushroom poisoning, but honestly, I just call it the worst dinner party ever. Not even a salad on the side to soften the blow. What's next? Death by undercooked pasta? The woman claims it was all an accident, like she just got her recipes mixed up between the Martha Stewart cookbook and the Murder, She Wrote edition. Oops, guess should have gone with the spaghetti after all. No word yet on how the trial's gonna go, but you can bet her next dinner invitation will be sent directly to the police station.
The Bay Village Police Department has recently been put through the ringer when they received a call about a runaway pumpkin in the middle of the roadway. Upon arriving at the scene of where the on-the-run inflatable decoration was last seen, a police officer attempted to arrest the air-filled pumpkin, but the large orange balloon was clearly upset about not being read the Miranda rights because it ended up escaping its cuffs and attacking the police officer by rolling over top of him instead. But civilians can rest assured because this brutal attack ended in justice for the officer who was left unharmed and the runaway inflatable pumpkin being returned to the front yard it first went AWOL from. I guess now we have to wait for Netflix to make a series about this case. Wait, I'm getting news that they just announced it. And it looks like it's going to be called The Not So Great Pumpkin, and it's going to be starring Charlie Brown playing the pumpkin. When we come back, I'll have the honor to interview two members of the Cinema Workshop e-board. Stick around. Welcome back to RTN Tonight. I'm joined by Cinema Workshop's promotion manager, Jane Van Wee, and webmaster, Emily Schwartz. Thank you guys for coming to the show today. So we've got a couple questions for you. Starting off with, what got you guys interested in being a part of Cinema Workshop's e-board?
Okay, so for me, I'm a senior this year, and I joined Cinema Workshop when I was a sophomore, not really knowing that it existed. And I always enjoyed making movies, doing photography, stuff like that. And so when I found out that there was a club at Rowan that did that, and I didn't need to be an RTF major for that, I was like, sign me up. So yeah, I got really interested in it, and then I decided to run for secretary because no one else was running, and so I did that my junior year, really enjoyed it, and then found that I really like making posters and stuff like that, so I ran for promotions manager, and now that's what I do.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to Rowan because there was Cinema Workshop. I was really betting on it. I'm like, that sounds really cool. I want a club to make movies because I want to make movies. So I got really into it, and dear Jane over here was my mentor at the time, and they helped me get on a lot of sets and get a lot of crew positions. Thank you. And then when it came springtime, this past spring, and people were running, I wasn't going to go out for e-board. But then, once again, Jane was like, you should run for webmaster. So then I did. And then somehow I won, and now I'm here.
All right, could you guys let our audience know a little bit more about the positions and what you got to do and what knowledge you should know about them?
Okay, so for me, I'm the promotions manager, and so that is making a bunch of different posters, and a bunch of different promotions material, I make a bunch of logos and stuff like that. We have a big poster board in Bosworth Hall, and my main job is making sure that that's up to date with different things like our movie night bracket, what upcoming events we have, members of the week, all things like that, so that everyone can stay up to date on what's going on. And then on top of that, in the fall, we're going to be making a bunch of different posters for the movies that we're making. So that's kind of going to be my big thing to do. So it's a lot of Photoshop work, a lot of multimedia things, and it's very cool. I enjoy it a lot.
And I am a web chair, the lady of the web, so I do all of our social medias, and I run our website. I designed a new website this year. That's on our link tree on our Instagram, Rowan Cinema Workshop on Instagram. Follow us. And I also manage the YouTube and the Vimeo and our digital archive.
Yeah, so y'all really are doing it all. You guys have had a couple of fests and shoots so far, right? Right, so what are some of your guys' favorites, if you have any so far?
From this year?
It could be from this year, it could be from last year too.
Okay.
I know for this year specifically, actually this past weekend, we just had Slasher Fest, which we have never done before. We usually do like a Spooky Fest, Scene Fest, but we've never done Slasher Fest before, and I was really excited because I do a little bit of acting here and there, so I was like, guys, if we're doing Slasher Fest, I want to act in it. So I ended up acting in it. I ended up being the killer, don't tell anyone, and that was just really fun and a really fun experience to stab my friends, but that's besides the point. So yeah, that one was really fun.
I'd say my favorite, I'd have to do last semester. We filmed a feature called Vampire Bucket List, directed by Grace Fox, who has graduated since then. And it was my first like big shoot I've ever been on, especially as like a camera operator, and it was so much fun, and it's such a wonderful film, and I'm so excited for it to come out next spring.
Oh, it comes out on the Cinema Workshop thing, like what's it called, the event.
At our premiere.
Okay. Premiere's the word I'm looking for, and I couldn't find it. And then we did some research on you, some stalking. And Jane, your favorite movie is Heathers, right? And then yours is Kill Bill. Do you guys have any favorite moments from these movies?
I love a good like campy horror-ish movie, and I don't know, I watched Heathers for the first time when I was a kid and just loved it ever since. I think I love, especially because it's so very 80s, and it's so many like crazy sayings that they say. Like there's one that's like, never mind, there's a bad word in it. But like, there's a lot of funny ones in there that are really just, I don't know, they're like in my brain all the time.
Did you watch it in prep for Slasher Fest?
I didn't, but there were multiple times where the director was like, you're giving me so much JD, like the main character who was kind of the crazy murderer guy. And they're like, you're giving me so much JD right now. And I was like, oh, okay. So, yeah.
Right, and then Kill Bill.
I would say my favorite moment in Kill Bill is when Beatrix kills Bill. And I think it's a very charged scene. There's a lot of nuance in Beatrix's character, which I think is really interesting, especially because it's a Tarantino. Like, there's a lot of, I think, underlying, like, very, like, feminist, like, themes in it that you can read into, and I think one of it is her making that choice for herself despite her feelings, even if her remaining feelings for Bill are irrational. She still makes the decision with some hate, some love in her heart, and I thought that was a really interesting and well done scene.
That is a very inspirational take, jeez. And then, do you guys have anything you guys would like to promote?
Definitely follow us on Instagram at Rowan Cinema Workshop. And then we have a big event coming up on November 1st. We're doing a Rocky Horror Night, which I'm very excited for. That's like an event that I'm hosting. And so we're going to be watching the movie, doing a costume contest, dancing to the time warp. There's going to be snacks, candy, a whole bunch of fun stuff. So, and it's open to everyone, and it's free. So if anyone's free that Friday, you should be there.
I'll make sure to check it out. All right, thank you, Jane and Emily, for coming on to the show. And if you guys would like to learn more about Cinema Workshop, follow them on social media at Rowan Cinema Workshop. And don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll have both of our guests play a classic game of RTN Tonight, No Cap. You won't want to miss this.
Hello and welcome back to RTN Tonight. I'm Sammy Trachak, and I'm joined by our wonderful guests of the night, Jane Van Wee and Emily Schwartz. Jane and Emily is now here to join me for RTN Tonight's game of No Cap. To give you a recap of the game, a timer will start when I ask the first question. From there, you will have to answer the 21 unopinionated questions as fast as possible. And since you guys are the first guests, you'll hold the record for this season unless next week's guest breaks it. We will match your time with next week's guest and see which guest went faster. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to play No Cap? But there is a twist tonight. We have two guests, so they will also be competing against each other. We will start with Jane for the first 21 unopinionated questions.
Oh no.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
Have the ability to fly or be invisible.
Invisible.
Travel to the past or the future.
Future.
Have a rewind button or a pause button.
Rewind.
Live without music or live without television.
Television.
Always be 10 minutes late or always be 20 minutes early.
20 minutes early.
Speak all languages or talk to animals.
Talk to animals.
Win the lottery or find your perfect job.
Win the lottery.
Have super strength or super speed.
Super speed.
Be a famous actor or famous musician.
Musician.
Explore space or deep sea.
Deep sea.
Have a
No,
permanent-
space. Sorry.
Have a permanent 10% discount on any store or a free meal at any restaurant for life.
Free meal.
Be stuck in a zombie apocalypse or a robot uprising.
Robot.
Never use social media again or never watch another movie.
Social media.
Live in a treehouse or a cave.
Treehouse.
Always has to say everything on your mind or never speak again.
Never speak again.
Wear clown shoes every day or a clown wig every day.
Clown shoes.
Be able to time travel but never return to and stay in your current time forever, or stay in your current time forever.
What?
Be able to time travel but never return, or stay in your current time forever.
Oh, stay in my current time forever.
Have 1 wish granted today or 3 wishes granted in 10 years.
3 wishes, 10 years.
Be able to breathe underwater or fly in air.
Fly in air.
Have a personal chef or a personal trainer.
Personal chef.
Always have to tell the truth or always have to tell a lie.
Always have to tell the truth.
And your time was 1 minute, 17 seconds, .81.
That was stressful.
I can tell. On to Emily.
Oh boy.
Alrighty, ready?
Yeah.
Have the ability to fly or be invisible.
Fly.
Travel to the past or future.
Past.
Have a rewind button or a pause button.
Rewind.
Live without music or live without television.
Television.
Always be 10 minutes late or always be 20 minutes early.
Always early.
Speak all languages or talk to animals.
Talk to animals.
Win the lottery or find your perfect job.
Perfect job.
Have super strength or super speed.
Super strength.
Be a famous actor or a famous musician.
Musician.
Explore space or deep sea.
Space.
Have a permanent 10% discount on any store or free meals at restaurants for life.
Free meals.
Be stuck in a zombie apocalypse or a robot uprising.
Robot uprising.
Never use social media again or never watch another movie.
Never use social media again.
Live in a treehouse or a cave.
Cave.
Always have to say everything on your mind or never speak again.
Always have to yap.
Wear clown shoes every day or clown wig every day.
Clown wig. I could slay that.
Be able to travel but never return or stay in your current time forever.
Stay my current time forever.
Have 1 wish granted today or 3 wishes granted in 10 years.
1 today.
Be able to breathe underwater or fly in the air.
Fly in the air.
Have a personal chef or a personal trainer.
Personal trainer.
Always have to tell the truth or always have to tell a lie.
Always tell the truth.
And your time is 1 minute and 8 seconds. .89.
Dang.
We have our winner for the night. Do you think you'll be able to beat next week's guest?
I think so, yeah.
Thank you so much, Jane and Emily, for coming on the show. Thank you to our audience for tuning in to RTN Tonight on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe to RTN Network YouTube channel. I'm Sammy Trachak. Have a good night, Glassboro.